Unexplored wonders, secrets of the deep and beyond, the Mariana Trench, a realm of extremes. Deep in the Pacific Ocean lies the Mariana Trench, where pressure reaches 1,000 times that of the surface, enough to crush an unprotected human instantly. Spanning a width equivalent to 20 national malls in Washington, D.C., and stretching about 1/5 of Earth's diameter in length, this trench is a colossal abyss. Explorers describe its depths as cold, silent, and serene, with vibrant red and yellow rocky outcrops and translucent creatures like sea cucumbers and amphipods. Contrary to the myth that more people have been to the moon than the trench, records show 24 humans have visited the moon, while at least 27 have descended to the Mariana Trench, often thrill seekers capturing footage of wildlife and geological features. The first dive to the Challenger Deep, the trench's lowest point, occurred in 1960, just 9 years before the 1969 moon landing. Unique species thrive here, including arrowtooth eels, snailfish, spoon worms, and microbial mats feeding on methane and hydrogen. The Mariana snailfish, despite its delicate look, survives extreme pressure, feeding deeper than competitors. Deep-sea gigantism, possibly linked to thermal vents, results in oversized creatures like the 6-foot giant tube worm, though science still debates its causes. After the 1960 dive, it wasn't until 2012 that filmmaker James Cameron revisited the depths in the deep-sea Challenger, highlighting how little we know. Only 5% of Earth's oceans are mapped. The Amazon rainforest, a wild frontier.
The Amazon rainforest, another uncharted realm, poses challenges with its dangerous wildlife jaguars, anacondas, piranhas, and Brazilian wandering spiders among them. Year-round rainfall, flooding, and treacherous river currents hinder exploration, leaving much of the region unmapped. In Brazil, near Peru, at least 14 uncontacted tribes remain, protected by national policies to preserve their isolation and future.
North Sentinel Island, a forbidden enclave. In the Indian Ocean, North Sentinel Island remains isolated after the 2004 tsunami, when Sentinelese tribespeople repelled helicopters with bows and arrows. One of Earth's last uncontacted tribes, their population estimated between 15 and 500 lives on an island 5 times the size of London's Heathrow Airport. Located far from shipping lanes in the Bay of Bengal, with no natural harbor and surrounded by shallow reefs, access is limited to small boats. Indian authorities ban visits for safety, and despite brief contact in the 1960s, the Sentinelese language and culture remain a mystery, distinct even from neighboring Andaman groups. Antarctica, the frozen unknown. Antarctica, roughly the size of the US and Mexico combined, hosts no permanent human settlements, only temporary scientific teams. Despite satellite mapping, its extreme conditions, being the coldest, windiest, driest, and brightest continent, make vast areas inaccessible. Over 99% of its surface is covered by ice sheets, 1 to 3 miles thick, half the height of Mount Everest. Bhutan's sacred peak. In the Himalayas, Bhutan's tallest unclimbed mountain, named White Peak of the Three Spiritual Brothers, in the local language, remains untouched. Out of respect for spiritual beliefs, Bhutan banned mountaineering in the early 21st century, leaving no record of a successful summit. Pythia's Oasis, a subsea enigma. Off the Pacific Northwest, along the Cascadia subduction zone, lies Pythia's Oasis, a leak in the ocean floor discovered by a grad student noticing rising bubbles. Unlike hydrothermal vents, which release superheated fluids carrying gases and minerals, this spring allows fluid to flow inward. Vents support unique life, like ghostly fish, red-tipped tube worms, and shrimp with dorsal eyes, thriving on chemicals in the darkness. However, Pythia's Oasis raises concerns. Its fluid lubricates tectonic plates, reducing friction. If pressure drops, plates lock, building stress that could trigger a magnitude 9 earthquake comparable to the 9.5 magnitude 1960 Chile quake, the largest ever recorded. Mysterious ocean holes and ancient roads. In the Atlantic near the Azores, scientists found neatly aligned holes, 4 inches to several feet apart, resembling sewing machine punctures. Theories range from fish trails to human-made marks, though a deep-sea biologist suggests burrowing creatures creating chimneys for water circulation, supported by sediment piles around each hole. Off Croatia's southern coast, a 7,000-year-old road was uncovered at the Neolithic site of Solin, a sunken, human-made island near Korčula. Discovered via satellite imagery, the site, protected by surrounding islands, features stone walls from an ancient settlement, submerged under layers of mud, deep-sea discoveries and extraterrestrial traces. The Pacific Ocean floor hosts potential new species, segmented worms, corals, and centipede-like invertebrates collected via remote vehicles. Known oddities include the red octopus, blobfish, goblin shark, Sloane's viperfish, and zombie worms. Traces of plutonium and iron, formed by cosmic events like neutron star collisions or rare supernovae, have settled here over the past 10 million years, offering clues to the universe's heavy element production. Vampire squid and space debris. At 3,000 feet in the Pacific, the vampire squid, Vampira teuthis infernalis, meaning vampire squid from the nether, glows to deter predators, revealing spikes if threatened. Harmless despite its name, it adapts to inkless defense in the deep. Meanwhile, space debris like the Apollo 11 rocket, found in 2012 by Jeff Bezos's team using sonar, litters the ocean floor, often discarded after launches. Sunken cities and Titanic relics. The Mediterranean hides Heracleion, a submerged city discovered after a British pilot's sighting, confirmed by divers 60 years later. Rich with artifacts, it sank due to rising seas. The Titanic, sunk in 1912, was officially found in 1986, but a fisherman discovered a doll, S-head, from the wreck in 1978. Research linked it to passenger Eva Hart, who survived but lost her toy, as noted in her journal. Deep-sea adaptations, the tripod fish, at 20,000 feet in the abyssal zone, uses tripod-like fins to detect movement in darkness, lacking functional eyes. It can be both male and female to reproduce in isolation. The lizardfish, with sharp teeth, a large mouth and big eyes, hunts with a menacing appearance in the deep. Mysteries of the deep. Uncovering ocean secrets. The lizardfish, a midnight zone. Predator. In the ocean's midnight zone, around 11,000 feet deep where light is non-existent, the lizardfish thrives. This voracious predator consumes anything that fits in its mouth, from small fish to other lizardfish. However, when encountering another of its kind, it may seek a mate instead, as finding partners at such depths is challenging. Like the tripod fish, the lizardfish can be both male and female, aiding reproduction in this sparse environment. Underwater rivers, nature's hidden streams. While rivers are typically associated with land, nature defies expectations with underwater rivers, such as one off California's coast at a depth of about 2 meters. This submerged river mirrors terrestrial ones, featuring sunken logs, trees, and rocks. Similar phenomena exist in the Amazon and Greenland, showcasing the ocean's unexpected diversity. Siphonophores, a bizarre deep-sea find. Off Angola's coast, at 350 feet below the surface, a remote-operated vehicle captured a strange entity that appeared headless and bodiless. Identified as a cluster of siphonophores, colonial organisms fused together. This discovery, though initially startling, proved to be a natural marvel, not a sci-fi creation. Ancient gold in Caesarea. In 2015, a diver in Caesarea spotted a glint on the ocean floor, uncovering a gold coin. Further exploration revealed a trove of 24-carat gold Arabic coins, thousands of years old, yet preserved by the ocean's salinity and temperature. Authorities determined they belonged to a shipwrecked vessel caught in a storm, a testament to history preserved beneath the waves. The Baltic Sea anomaly, a natural wonder. Swedish researchers discovered a peculiar formation in the Baltic Sea, dubbed the Baltic Sea anomaly. Measuring 200 feet long and resembling a crashed spaceship, it sparked speculation of extraterrestrial origins. However, scientific consensus attributes it to natural geological processes, likely shaped by the sea's historical erosion patterns. A giant knife in Madagascar. Divers in Madagascar stumbled upon a 7-foot knife on the seafloor, prompting theories of ancient giants battling megalodons. More plausibly, it's believed to be a lost movie prop, a reminder of how human artifacts can fuel fantastical tales in the ocean's depths. Frilled shark, the living fossil. The frilled shark, often linked to ancient sea serpent legends, inhabits deep ocean waters but can occasionally surface in shallower regions. With a serpentine body, 300 teeth, and the ability to swallow prey half its size, this rare shark's snake-like stomach makes it a unique predator in the deep. Giant oceanic worms. While garden worms are unremarkable, the ocean hosts a 26-foot-long worm that might unsettle divers. This isn't a single creature, but a cluster of zooids, tiny organisms forming a worm-shaped colony. Feeding on plankton and bacteria, these harmless formations highlight the ocean's deceptive appearances. Magna pinna squid, the deep-sea enigma. At 20,000 feet below the surface, the Magna pinna squid, with 8-foot tentacles resembling an underwater Slenderman, lurks in the abyss. Rarely observed, little is known about this elusive creature, adding to the ocean's mystique. Introduction to ocean exploration. Welcome to a journey into the ocean. Depths, a realm covering over 70% of Earth's surface, yet largely unexplored, with only 5% mapped. More people have walked on the moon than have ventured into the Mariana Trench, the planet's deepest point. This exploration series delves into the ocean's mysteries, from its alien-like creatures to unique phenomena and the challenges of discovery in this blue frontier. The pressure of the deep, descending into the ocean, reveals a stark contrast to the surface's tranquility. As sunlight fades, darkness engulfs the depths, and pressure intensifies, reaching levels 1,000 times greater than on land, equivalent to the weight of hundreds of elephants. This makes deep-sea exploration more daunting than space travel, where pressure drops to zero. Despite this, life thrives, adapted to extreme conditions, showcasing a biodiversity that challenges our understanding. Earth's shifting oceans and continents. Over millions of years, Earth's crust has shifted, reshaping oceans and continents. The Atlantic Ocean formed as North and South America drifted apart, expanding by about 2 inches annually, while the Pacific Ocean, the largest and deepest, gradually shrinks. These movements create diverse marine habitats, driving the evolution of unique species and highlighting Earth's dynamic nature. Underwater lakes and waterfalls. The ocean hosts surreal features like underwater lakes and rivers, formed by dense mixtures of saltwater and hydrogen sulfide. Off Iceland and Greenland, the Denmark Strait Cataract, an underwater waterfall 11,500 feet tall, dwarfs terrestrial counterparts like Niagara Falls, driven by cold water sinking into warmer seas. The mid-ocean ridge, a 40,000-mile-long underwater mountain chain, remains 99% unexplored, known less than the surfaces of Mars or Venus. Marine life, a spectrum of adaptation. The ocean teems with diverse life, from plankton to whales. Corals form vibrant ecosystems, akin to underwater rainforests, while algae produce half the world's oxygen, aiding climate regulation. Octopuses showcase intelligence with their color-changing abilities, and Antarctic fish survive with natural antifreeze proteins. Sharks, as apex predators, exemplify the ocean's evolutionary marvels. Deep-sea creatures, nature's oddities. In the ocean's depths, creatures like the goblin shark, with its protruding jaws, and the fang-toothed fish, with disproportionately large teeth, defy imagination. The frilled shark, a living fossil, and the Mariana snailfish, surviving at 24,000 feet, demonstrate life's resilience in high-pressure darkness, offering insights into life's adaptability. Gold in the ocean, a hidden treasure. The ocean contains an estimated 20 million tons of gold, but at a concentration of 13 billionths of a gram per liter of seawater, extraction is impractical. Collecting a single gram would require processing over 50 million liters, equivalent to 20 Olympic-sized pools. Even on the seafloor, mining remains challenging, underscoring the ocean's untapped resources. The bloop, a sound mystery. Solved. In 1997, a powerful ultra-low frequency sound, dubbed the bloop, was detected in the Pacific, audible 3,000 miles away. Initially sparking theories of sea monsters or alien bases, it was later identified as an icequake, a massive iceberg fracturing in Antarctica. This phenomenon highlights the ocean's capacity to surprise and mystify. Point Nemo, the ocean's remote haven. Point Nemo, in the South Pacific, is the farthest point from land, 1,450 nautical miles away, closer to the International Space Station than any coastline. This isolation makes it a spacecraft graveyard, where decommissioned satellites sink, carrying traces of extraterrestrial materials. Extremophiles thrive here, underscoring life's tenacity and solitude. Challenger Deep, the ultimate frontier. The Challenger Deep, at 36,000 feet in the Mariana Trench, is Earth's deepest point, named after the HMS Challenger's 1875 survey. Its pressure, over 1,000 times surface levels, and near freezing temperatures make exploration perilous, yet life persists. Amoebas and snailfish endure. From the 1960 Trieste dive to modern autonomous vehicles, humanity continues to probe this frontier, revealing life's extremes. Extremophiles, clues to extraterrestrial life. Extremophiles near hydrothermal vents use chemosynthesis to survive, thriving on sulfur and methane in superheated high-pressure waters. In the Challenger Deep, organisms like amoebas and snailfish defy lethal conditions, hinting at the potential for life on other planets, such as Europa's icy oceans or Mars' subsurface. Tools of exploration. Deep-sea submersibles, like the 1960 Trieste and 2012 Deep-Sea Challenger, withstand immense pressures, equipped with lights and cameras to capture the abyss. These technologies enable exploration where humans cannot venture, unveiling the ocean's secrets and pushing the boundaries of discovery. Exploring the abyss, deep-sea technology and creatures tools for deep-sea exploration. Remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, are pivotal in ocean exploration, controlled from surface ships. Unlike manned submersibles, ROVs can remain submerged for extended periods, making them ideal for detailed scientific research. Equipped with robotic arms for sample collection and high-definition cameras for documentation, they capture the ocean's hidden wonders. Autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, such as the Nereus, operate without tethers, accessing hard-to-reach areas. With advanced navigation systems and scientific instruments, AUVs collect data independently. Innovations in sonar mapping and satellite technology further enhance our ability to explore the deep with unprecedented precision, unveiling a once inaccessible world. Reflecting on the ocean's mysteries. Our journey through the ocean reveals its vastness and complexity, from sunlit shallows to the darkest depths. We've encountered extreme conditions, immense pressures and frigid temperatures, and the remarkable life forms adapted to survive them. Underwater rivers, the towering Denmark Strait Cataract, and the expansive mid-ocean ridge highlight the ocean's geological wonders. Marine life, from tiny plankton to massive whales, underscores the ecosystem's diversity and importance. Exploring these depths is challenging, requiring ingenuity and bravery, but each discovery deepens our understanding of Earth and our place within it. The ocean's mysteries remain vast, urging us to continue exploring, learning and marveling at this blue frontier. Stonefish, the camouflaged threat. The stonefish, a master of disguise, blends seamlessly with rocky environments thanks to its rough skin and small, unreflective eyes. With a large head and mouth, it inhabits rocky coastal areas and can survive out of water for up to 24 hours. Its dorsal spines deliver potent venom, capable of causing paralysis or heart failure if stepped on or handled, making it one of the ocean's most dangerous creatures. Caution is advised when navigating rocky shores where these fish lurk. Deep-sea dragonfish, a bioluminescent predator. The deep-sea dragonfish, dwelling between 700 and 6,000 feet in the ocean's darkest, coldest regions, is a formidable predator. Its slimy, scaleless skin, massive teeth, and bioluminescent appendage, a red light on its lower jaw, make it a fearsome hunter. This light lures prey directly into its jaws, a clever adaptation for the lightless depths where it thrives. Fangtooth fish, the deep's toothy resident. In the Mariana Trench, which plunges nearly 35,000 feet about 7 miles below the surface, the fangtooth fish resides. This trench, the deepest part of Earth's oceans, remains largely unexplored. The fangtooth, true to its name, boasts large, sharp teeth, using chemical detection to locate prey in the absence of light-producing organs. Despite its menacing appearance, this carnivorous fish grows only to about 7 inches and poses no threat to humans, feeding on whatever crosses its path in the dark abyss. Dunkleosteus, the toothless titan. The prehistoric Dunkleosteus, often called the T-Rex of the seas, lacked teeth but possessed bony plates that delivered a powerful bite. This ancient fish, dominating its era, used its unique jaw structure to crush prey, showcasing the diversity of predatory adaptations in the ocean's history. Goblin shark, a deep-sea nightmare. At 3,000 feet below the surface, the goblin shark lurks with a sword-like snout and a jaw that can extend outward to snatch prey. Unlike typical grey sharks, this pink-hued predator can grow up to 18 feet. Little is known about it due to its deep habitat, but its unique appearance and hunting style make it a chilling presence in the ocean. Cookie-cutter shark, a resourceful feeder. The cookie-cutter shark features large, sharp lower teeth and smaller upper ones, consuming its own shed teeth to maintain calcium levels, an efficient survival tactic. This small shark's resourcefulness highlights the adaptive strategies of deep-sea dwellers. Frilled shark, a prehistoric relic. The frilled shark, a living fossil, has remained largely unchanged for millions of years. With 25 rows of 300 backward-facing teeth, it inhabits depths between 390 and 4,200 feet. Rarely seen near the surface, it feeds on squid, swallowing prey whole thanks to its flexible jaws, embodying a link to the ocean's ancient past. Northern stargazer, the ambush predator. The northern stargazer buries itself in the sand, leaving only its face exposed to ambush prey. Its upward-facing mouth and eyes on top of its head make it a stealthy hunter, striking swiftly at unsuspecting fish or crabs passing overhead. Tasseled wobbegong, the carpet shark. The tasseled wobbegong, a carpet shark, lies flat on the ocean floor, blending with its surroundings to ambush prey. This Australian species uses its camouflaged body to remain unnoticed, striking at night when unsuspecting animals swim by. Australian ghost shark, an ancient lineage. The Australian ghost shark, not a true shark, but a bony fish, is another living fossil, unchanged for 400 million years. Sharks and humans share a common ancestor from 440 million years ago, with genetic similarities, such as those in the elephant shark, reflecting this distant connection. Liopleurodon, Jurassic sea ruler. The Liopleurodon, a marine reptile from the Jurassic era, dominated the seas at 9 feet long. With 4 paddle-like limbs and a long snout for smelling prey, it thrived in the dark depths, likely the Mariana Trench, until competition led to its extinction 150 million years ago. Megamouth shark, the gentle giant. The megamouth shark, a filter feeder, poses no threat to humans despite its massive mouth. Like basking sharks, it swims with its mouth open to consume plankton, showcasing the diversity of shark feeding strategies. Gulper eel, the deep-sea swallower. The gulper eel, with its expandable stomach, can swallow prey twice its size. Found at depths of 2 to 3 feet in length, its unusual jaw shape allows it to consume large meals in the food-scarce deep sea. Saltwater crocodile, an oceanic visitor. Saltwater crocodiles occasionally venture into the sea, often en route to nearby islands. Equipped with a throat valve to prevent drowning, they rarely see humans as prey but can bite if provoked. They prefer ambushing in shallow waters, making caution advisable near shorelines. Basking shark, the rare behemoth. The basking shark, growing up to 39 feet, has been sighted only 3 times in 160 years, the last in 2015. It surfaces to filter feed on small crustaceans but spends months at depths of 3,300 feet, tracked via satellite tags, preferring temperate waters and avoiding tropical surfaces. Lion's mane jellyfish, the ocean's longest. The lion's mane jellyfish, the largest of its kind, can reach 120 feet longer than the largest blue whale. With 70 to 150 neurotoxin-filled tentacles, it feeds on small fish and plankton, typically staying within 65 feet of the surface in open oceans, away from coasts. Giant phantom jelly, the midnight hunter. In the ocean's midnight zone, the giant phantom jelly emerges with a 3-foot wide bell and 33-foot long ribbon-like arms. It uses these to ensnare prey, glowing faintly as it moves through the dark depths, found globally except in the Arctic. Oarfish, the sea serpent. The oarfish, often mistaken for a sea serpent, grows to 26 feet, making it the longest bony fish. Inhabiting depths of 3,300 feet in tropical and subtropical waters, its ribbon-like scaleless body and red fins give it a striking appearance, rarely surfacing unless disturbed. Ocean sunfish, the swimming head. The ocean sunfish, or mola, reaches nearly 11 feet and is the heaviest bony fish. Its odd shape, lacking a true tail fin, results from a back fin that folds into a rounded rudder as it matures. This solitary creature feeds on plankton and jellyfish, swimming clumsily on its side. Spotted wobbegong, the stealthy shark. The spotted wobbegong, a rare carpet shark, grows over 10 feet and excels at ambush hunting. Its flat body and spiracle allow it to breathe while motionless on the ocean floor, blending into coral reefs and sandy bottoms to catch prey or evade threats. Blobfish, the gelatinous survivor. Blobfish, lacking teeth and bones, survive by scooping food from the seafloor. At depths where pressure is 120 times surface levels, their gelatinous form holds together, but they appear distorted when brought to the surface due to the pressure change. White margin stargazer, the electric ambusher. The white margin stargazer hides in the sand, using its upward-facing mouth and eyes to spot prey. It strikes with venomous spines and can generate a 50-volt electric shock for hunting and defense, showcasing the deep sea's diverse predatory tactics. Fangtooth fish, the active hunter. Fangtooths, despite their small size, are active deep-sea hunters, using their oversized teeth to tackle prey larger than themselves. Lacking bioluminescent organs, they rely on smell and faint sunlight shadows to detect prey, their dark bodies blending into the abyss. Giant squid, the legendary kraken. Giant squids, inspiring kraken legends, can grow to 59 feet and weigh nearly a ton. With 10-inch wide eyes, the largest in the animal kingdom, they detect prey in lightless depths, using long tentacles with sharp teeth to seize victims up to 33 feet away. First filmed in 2012, they remain elusive. Big fin squid, the deep sea dancer. Big fin squids, observed at 20,000 feet, feature slender 20-foot-long arms with frill-like fins, resembling dancers in the deep. With only a dozen confirmed sightings, their hunting method, possibly trapping prey with dangling tentacles, remains speculative, adding to their mystique. Telescope fish, the binocular predator. The telescope fish, with protruding tube-shaped eyes, inhabits deep tropical waters. Growing 6 to 8 inches, it uses its expandable jaws to consume prey larger than itself, folding them into its stomach. Its eyes enhance light collection, detecting bioluminescence and silhouettes in the twilight zone. Megalodon, the ancient terror. The megalodon, a 60-ton predator, ruled the oceans 20 million years ago for 13 million years. Known through fossilized teeth about hand-sized, it had 276 teeth, found globally except in Antarctica. Unlike great whites, it had a shorter nose and longer fins, hunting seals, dolphins, and whales with a distinct style, targeting vulnerable spots. Deep sea giants and mysteries. The Megalodon, an extinct titan. The Megalodon, an ancient shark, had teeth designed to slice through tough cartilage, targeting prey's fins to immobilize them before delivering a fatal strike. Despite theories of its survival in the deep ocean, this warm-water species likely couldn't endure the cold, food-scarce depths where pressure would crush its body. Modern sightings are improbable. An animal of its size, reaching 50 feet, would have been detected by now. Its diet of large whales further suggests it thrived in shallower, warmer waters. The name Megalodon, from Greek words meaning big tooth, reflects its massive jaws, housing 276 teeth across 5 rows, each tooth as large as a human head, rivaled only by saber-toothed cats and T-Rex in size. Extinction struck millions of years ago as ocean levels dropped and temperatures plummeted, wiping out much marine life. This scarcity of prey, coupled with colder waters unsuitable for reproduction, likely led to the megalodon's demise. Unlike the great white shark, often thought a close relative, the megalodon competed with the great white's ancestor, the broad-toothed mako. Great whites, smaller and agile, stole prey and even targeted megalodon pups, exacerbating their decline as whales migrated to colder seas. Resembling a modern bull shark more than a great white, the megalodon had a short snout, flat lower jaw, and large pectoral fins supporting its massive frame. Fossil evidence, primarily teeth, reveals nursery areas in regions like Florida, Maryland, and Panama, indicating it birthed young in shallow waters, a sign of its nurturing side. Ocean mysteries and legendary creatures. Tales of sea monsters like the Kraken, Loch Ness Monster, Hydra, and Leviathan have persisted for centuries, though no evidence confirms their existence. Yet the ocean hosts real giants, the colossal squid in subantarctic waters, 14 times longer than New Zealand's arrow squid, and a Pacific sea sponge the size of a minivan. Oceans hold 96.5% of Earth's water and 80% of its discovered life. Yet over 80% remains unexplored, less mapped than Mars's surface. The deep's extreme pressure, equivalent to balancing 50 jumbo jets, and near-freezing temperatures demand unique adaptations for survival. Deep-sea gigantism, survival in the abyss. Deep-sea gigantism explains the enormous size of many deep-sea creatures. In the dark, cold depths, sunlight diminishes, lowering temperatures and oxygen levels while reducing food availability. Larger body sizes offer advantages: increased cell size, slower metabolism, and longer lifespans. Some species, like the orange ruffy, live up to 150 years, growing 24 feet and weighing 1.5 tons. These traits allow them to travel farther for food, store energy, and mature later, thriving in a stable environment with few predators. Ancient species like sea lilies, sea pens, unchanged for 360 million years. Deep-sea creatures, mostly water-based with no air gaps, withstand high pressure since water is incompressible. However, surfacing causes them to swell or burst, as seen in the blobfish, which appears normal at depth but saggy at the surface due to its lack of skeleton or muscles. The ocean's soundscape and hydrothermal vents. In 1997, researchers off South America recorded a powerful sound, dubbed the bloop, audible 3,000 miles away. After 15 years, it was identified as an icequake seismic activity fracturing ice. Hydrothermal vents on the seafloor release water up to 750 degrees, prevented from boiling by immense pressure. Unique species like tube worms thrive here, absorbing chemicals to feed symbiotic bacteria, which provide carbon in return. Deep corals, 2/3 of known species, inhabit cold, dark depths as shallow as 3 meters, surviving at 28 degrees Celsius. Some, over 8,000 years old, form structures 115 feet tall. The underwater landscape features massive canyons, like the Zemchug Canyon in the Bering Sea, with an 8,500-foot vertical drop dwarfing the Grand Canyon. Internal waves, occurring between water masses of different densities, travel thousands of miles per hour and reach 650 feet in height, far surpassing surface waves. A journey through the depths. At 120 feet, the northern stargazer lurks off the eastern US, buried in sand to ambush prey with an electric shock. At 240 feet, the sarcastic fringehead, a colorful fish under a foot long, appears harmless until provoked, opening its oversized mouth to deter threats posing no danger to humans. Deeper, at 900 feet, the Game of Thrones brittle star, unlike slow starfish, moves quickly with writhing arms, its calcium carbonate shell fitting into rocky crevices. At 2,000 feet, the giant squid, first filmed in 2001, looms with soccer ball-sized eyes and a 600-pound frame once thought a myth. At 3,000 feet, the red, foot-long vampire squid, resembling an umbrella with tentacles, lacks ink production. At 3,200 feet, the cookie-cutter shark, a 20-inch parasite, uses serrated teeth to gouge flesh from larger animals in the twilight zone. At 3,300 feet, the barrel-eye fish's transparent head and barrel-shaped eyes scan upward for prey in near darkness. At 4,000 feet, the blobfish, a jelly-like ambush predator, waits motionlessly for prey, its form intact under pressure. At 5,000 feet, the goblin shark uses its snout to sense prey, launching its elastic ligament jaws to snatch victims. Finally, at 5,300 feet, the frilled shark, resembling an eel with red-fringed gills, hunts with its distinctive ancient features. Alien depths, creatures of the deep sea, frilled shark, the serpentine predator. It hovers in the water, waiting for prey to approach before striking with a sudden serpentine charge, ensnaring its meal with deadly precision. At 6,000 feet, the deep-sea dragonfish emits an eerie red glow through chemical processes in its body, using this bioluminescence to communicate with others of its kind. Gulper eel, the expandable feaster. Deep-sea anglerfish, the luring tactician. Descending to 6,600 feet, the deep-sea anglerfish, primarily females, wields a unique dorsal spine tipped with luminous flesh, a glowing lure above its mouth. Black dragonfish, the illuminated stalker. At 7,000 feet, the black dragonfish glows with light-producing organs along its belly and near its eyes, resembling tiny flashlights. Giant isopod, the oversized scavenger. At the same depth, the giant isopod, a 20-inch relative of garden pill bugs, crabs, and shrimp, roams the seafloor. Zombie worms, the bone devourers. At 13,000 feet, the ocean floor appears fluffy, covered in zombie worms. Their feathery, plant-like appearance belies their role as decomposers in the deep. Grid-eye fish, the light-sensing survivor. Also at 13,000 feet, the grid-eye fish startles with its eyeless head, featuring large, greenish, oval, bony plates that detect light from predators. Tripod fish, the stilt-walking feeder. At a depth of 3 miles, the tripod fish stands on the ocean floor, using 3 long, rigid fins like stilts. Having adapted to near-total darkness, it forgoes vision, relying on vibrations and touch to sense prey, which it then scoops into its mouth using its fins as makeshift hands. Faceless cusk. The enigmatic bottom dweller. Also at 3 miles, the faceless cusk appears with no visible eyes and a mouth positioned underneath its body, giving it an eerie Mona Lisa-like smile. First documented over a century ago, it was rediscovered in 2017, highlighting how little we know about deep-sea life. Deep-sea cucumbers, the colorful escapists. At 6 miles down, deep-sea cucumbers, larger than their shallow-water kin, exhibit vibrant purplish hues, tiny feet, and mouth surrounding tentacles. They typically reside on the seafloor, but can swim to escape predators, showcasing adaptability in the extreme deep. Why deep-sea creatures look so alien? The deep sea's harsh conditions, immense pressure, scarce food, and perpetual darkness drive unique adaptations. About 450 million years ago, during a warm, stable climate with high sea levels and forming coral reefs, sharks emerged as dominant predators. Sharks through time and depth. Near the surface, sharks like great whites and makos are agile, grayish-blue hunters blending with their surroundings. In shallow tropical waters, epaulet sharks walk on coral flats, using a crawling motion, unable to breathe on land. Deeper down, ancient shark species, often with 6 or 7 gill slits to maximize oxygen intake, remain unchanged for millions of years, living fossils of the deep. 6-gill sharks, among the most primitive, mirror extinct ancestors and thrive only in deep waters. Their large eyes, packed with light-sensing rods, prioritize light detection over color vision, while reflective cells enhance their sight in dim conditions. In the twilight zone, bioluminescent sharks like the kitefin shark, growing nearly 6 feet at 980 feet depth, emit blue-green light to attract prey, deter predators, or camouflage by matching their surroundings. The Greenland shark, reaching 24 feet at 7,200 feet, exemplifies deep-sea gigantism, its slow metabolism, allowing it to live up to 500 years with minimal food. Deep-sea sharks, opportunistic survivors. Deep-sea sharks, like the frilled shark, a 7-foot living fossil hunt squid, and other fish with a serpentine, dinosaur-like body, unchanged for millennia. The cookie-cutter shark, at 20 inches, feeds parasitically, biting chunks from larger animals and possibly recycling calcium by swallowing its own shed teeth. The prickly shark, rare in the Pacific at 8,900 feet, features thorn-like denticles. Ghost sharks, not true sharks but related to rays, grow up to 80 inches with slender tails and large fins, feeding on invertebrates at 8,200 feet. Goblin sharks, up to 12 feet and 460 pounds, use a protrusible jaw to snatch prey like squid, aided by a snout that senses electrical fields. 7-gill sharks, large cow sharks at 10 feet, hunt dolphins and seals at 1,370 feet, showing aggression if provoked. Megamouth sharks, filter feeders at 15,000 feet, use bioluminescent mouths to attract plankton, retreating to the deep during the day. Oxygen and adaptation in the deep. Around 70 million years ago, deep oceans became more oxygenated, favoring bony fish over sharks, which adapted more slowly to colder temperatures and oxygen demands. Deep-sea creatures often rely on slow metabolisms to survive these conditions, a challenge for cold-blooded animals. Tasmanian red handfish. The walking fish. The Tasmanian red handfish walks on the ocean floor, using flipper-like fins, avoiding swimming. Found in shallow waters, it's disturbed by boats and swimmers, making it a rare sight better observed from a distance to protect its habitat. Vampire squid, the harmless trickster. The vampire squid, named Vampiroteuthis infernalis, meaning vampire squid from hell, sports a dark red hue and spikes, turning itself inside out to reveal intimidating spines as a defense. Despite its name, it's harmless to humans, feeding on floating plant and animal particles near the surface. It releases bioluminescent particles to distract predators, lacking the ink production of other squids. Vaquita, the shy sea panda. Off Mexico's coast, the vaquita, a tiny, shy marine mammal with black eye markings resembling a sea panda, faces extinction, with only about 10 remaining. Accidental capture in fishing nets threatens this endangered species, making sightings a rare privilege. Blue dragon, the tiny, fantastical mollusk. The blue dragon, or Glaucus atlanticus, also known as the blue angel, inhabits the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. This mollusk, growing just an inch long, dazzles with its vibrant, fantasy-like appearance, floating gracefully in open waters. Marvels of the deep and ancient giant's blue dragon, the clever camouflager. The blue dragon, a small mollusk, floats on its back, displaying its vibrant blue underbelly to blend seamlessly with ocean waves. This clever creature preys on Portuguese man-o'-war, Physalia physalis, storing their stinging cells to use as a defense mechanism. When threatened, It releases these cells with a sting more potent than the man-o'-war's own, posing a risk to humans if handled. It's best to admire its beauty from a safe distance. Barrel-eye fish, the see-through survivor. The barrel-eye fish, found in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, boasts a transparent head, revealing its eyes and brain. Living in the deep sea, where pressure is nearly 1,000 times greater than at the surface, temperatures are near freezing, and darkness prevails, this adaptation helps it survive. Initially thought to have fixed tunnel vision eyes since its discovery in 1939, research by Bruce Robertson and Kim Reisenbichler from the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute revealed that its eyes can move vertically, scanning for predators or prey through its translucent dome while capturing more light in the dim depths. It likely feeds on jellyfish and small fish. Orange ball, corallimorph, the glowing bloomer. At night, the orange ball corallimorph glows in the dark, blooming with its vibrant tubes extended. But it retracts quickly when light hits it, making it a fleeting spectacle for divers, a reminder of the ocean's delicate, hidden beauty. Megalodon, the prehistoric sea king. The megalodon, a prehistoric giant, ruled the oceans from 15.9 to 2.6 million years ago during the early Miocene to late Pliocene eras. Measuring 45 to 60 feet with jaws over 6 feet wide, it dwarfed modern sharks like the whale shark. A fossilized megalodon tooth, measuring 7 inches, underscores its massive size. Though extinct, its legacy captivates adventurers and scientists alike, offering a glimpse into the ocean's ancient past. Dumbo octopus, the deep-sea charmer. Named after Disney's Dumbo for its ear-like fins, the Dumbo octopus, Grimpa toothis, is a deep-sea dweller, reaching depths where few creatures survive. At about 8 inches tall, it hovers above the seafloor, feeding on snails, worms, and other small organisms near ocean vents. With 17 species varying in size and color, this octopus proves the deep sea holds both charm and mystery, with much left to explore. Sea angel, the deceptive predator. The sea angel may sound delicate, but it's a cunning hunter. It preys on sea butterflies, setting mucus traps to capture them in a strategic ambush, revealing the darker side of its ethereal appearance. Squat anemone shrimp, the dancing cleaner. The squat anemone shrimp, just 0.5 inches long, earns its nickname dancer shrimp, with its unique behavior. When disturbed, it raises its tail over its head in a dance-like motion. Divers note its habit of jumping onto hands to clean them, a small but fascinating interaction in the ocean's ecosystem. Coconut crab, the terrestrial hunter. The coconut crab, reaching 3 feet in length, roams land at night, its eerie appearance heightened by darkness. It primarily eats coconuts, but can hunt lizards and large birds, showcasing its versatility as a predator beyond the ocean. Slender snipe eel, the spine-rich mystery. The slender snipe eel, a 4-foot-long enigma, remains mysterious to scientists. With over 750 vertebrae, more than any other animal, its elongated body navigates the deep sea, a testament to the ocean's unexplored diversity. Sea pen, the quill-like drifter. The sea pen, often 7 feet long, resembles a quill or pen, especially with its water-filled bulb anchoring it to the seafloor. Its various forms highlight the ocean's array of unusual life, blending beauty and functionality. Persian carpet flatworm, the tiny fighter. The Persian carpet flatworm, only 4 inches long, mimics a miniature carpet with its vibrant patterns. Capable of becoming both male and female, it doesn't mate traditionally, but engages in battles with others to determine reproductive roles, a unique survival strategy. Flamingo tongue sea snail, the colorful defender. The flamingo tongue sea snail captivates with its vivid colors, often mistaken for a shell by tourists. Its dull shell hides beneath colorful, soft tissue, which stores toxins from the corals it eats, using them for defense against predators. The unexplored ocean, a realm of giants. With 95% of the ocean unexplored, imagination runs wild about what lurks in its depths. Thanks to deep-sea cameras, explorers, and archaeologists, we know of incredible creatures, from the 9-foot spider crab to the 60-foot megalodon. The largest living whale, the blue whale, stretches 82 to 105 feet longer than a school bus, making it the biggest animal ever on Earth, surpassing even the megalodon and T-Rex. Its tongue weighs as much as an elephant, its heart as much as a car, and it consumes 4 tons of krill daily. The lion's mane jellyfish at 120 feet rivals the blue whale in length, with 70 to 150 tentacles per set, totaling up to 1,200 in shades of red, purple, or orange. The giant oceanic manta ray, with a 30-foot wingspan, boasts the largest brain-to-body ratio among fish, lacking the venomous tail of its stingray relatives. The Portuguese man-o'-war, Physalia physalis, a siphonophore, extends up to 165 feet with its tentacles. Comprising hundreds of genetically identical organisms, its sting can be fatal, and detached tentacles remain dangerous for days, causing welts, cramps, and elevated heart rates in humans, though encounters are rare. Ancient marine reptiles, giants of the past. The Shastasaurus, a marine reptile from 210 million years ago in the late Triassic, reached 69 feet and weighed over 75 tons, matching a blue whale's mass. As tall as a 7-story building if upright, its slim 6-foot-wide ribcage belied its size, feeding on small fish and cephalopods. The Albertonectes, a plesiosaur from 76 to 70 million years ago in North America, grew to 38 feet, with a record-breaking 23-foot neck containing 76 vertebrae. Its long neck may have helped it forage for shellfish or capture fish, aided by gastrolith stomach stones up to 5.5 inches wide. The Tylosaurus, a 45-foot mosasaur from 85 to 80 million years ago, dominated North American shallow seas with a hydrodynamic body, agile flippers, and a powerful head for ramming prey like fish, turtles, and other mosasaurs. The Ophthalmosaurus, from the late Jurassic, spanned 16 feet and weighed 6,000 pounds, its large eyes and dolphin-like features earning it a charming look. The Mosasaurus, a 50-foot carnivore from 66 million years ago, ruled as the era's largest marine predator. Its crocodile-like head, armed with 2 rows of razor-sharp teeth and pterygoid teeth on its palate for gripping prey. The Styxosaurus, a 35-foot plesiosaur from 85 to 70 million years ago, featured a 16-foot snake-like neck, using conical teeth to catch fish, with gastroliths aiding digestion or possibly helping it sink to hunt. Prehistoric terrors, beyond the ocean. The Anomalocaris, from over 500 million years ago, resembled a shrimp-centipede hybrid, about leg-sized, with 2 toothy tentacles and 16,000 lensed eyes 4 times a housefly's. As Earth's first hunter, it preyed on trilobites, its size boosted by high atmospheric oxygen. The Meganisoptera, a cat-sized dragonfly with an arm-length wingspan, dominated the skies, grabbing insects and small animals, unchallenged by aerial predators. The Megapiranha, 3 times larger than modern piranhas, had a tiger-like bite force, crushing turtles and fish. Modern piranhas bark like frogs before confrontations, hinting at the megapiranha's possible roar. Giant sea scorpions, bed-sized 460 million years ago, swam with potentially venomous tails. The Therizinosaurus, a 2-story tall dinosaur with 8-foot arms and arm-length claws, likely used them to raid termite nests, focusing on bugs and plants. The Megatherium, a giant ground sloth, stood eye to eye with giraffes, weighing as much as a hippo, using massive claws to bend branches and defend itself, ultimately hunted to extinction by humans. The Titanoboa, a 50-foot snake, rivaled the megalodon in length, outweighing today's green anaconda, preying on crocodiles with swimming speeds 3 times faster than Olympic records, using constriction to kill. The Opabinia, a finger-sized relative of Anomalocaris, had a vacuum hose trunk with a crab-like claw, 5 eyes, and an underhead mouth, feeding on ocean-bottom scraps. The Tullimonstrum, or Tully monster, a 4-arm-sized mollusk from 300 million years ago, featured a long nose with toothy jaws and snail-like eye tubes, dining on jellyfish and shrimp. The Thylacosmolus, a marsupial with fangs longer than a saber-toothed tiger's, had a distinctive pointed chin, more akin to kangaroos than felines. Journey through time and the deep, ancient creatures and ocean giants. Thylacosmolus, the marsupial predator. The Thylacosmolus, a prehistoric marsupial, had fangs rooted deep into its skull, extending back to its eyes. When its mouth closed, a bony, beard-like structure shielded these long, sharp teeth from damage, ensuring they remained effective for hunting. Staganolepis, the armored herbivore. Staganolepis, often mistaken for a crocodile due to its squished snout, was a 10-foot, plant-eating reptile. Its small head and limited teeth made it a poor fighter, but armored scales provided defense. A beak-like nose tip allowed it to dig up plants, making it more akin to a scaly, oversized pig than a crocodile. Basilosaurus, the ancient whale. The Basilosaurus, an ancient whale from 45 million years ago, stretched nearly as long as a blue whale, preying on other whales and sharks. Some speculate it still exists, citing 90% of the ocean AS unexplored depths as a hiding place for such a sea dragon. However, no fossils younger than 3.7 million years have been found, debunking this theory. Stegosaurus, the plated dinosaur. The Stegosaurus, a well-known dinosaur, featured distinctive tail spikes and bony back plates. Twice the length of a giraffe and 5 times heavier, it had a brain no larger than a dog, tiny for its massive body, highlighting the diversity of prehistoric life. Pelagornis, the giant bird. Pelagornis boasted the largest wingspan of any bird, double that of today's wandering albatross. Its enormous wings, however, made takeoff difficult, requiring cliff jumps to get airborne. Once aloft, it could only reach 40 mph, far slower than modern birds, which can fly 5 times faster. Ocean giants, from whales to siphonophores. The ocean, with 95% yet to be explored, fuels imagination about its inhabitants. Through deep-sea cameras, explorers, and archaeologists, we've uncovered remarkable creatures. The blue whale, the largest living animal at 82 to 105 feet, dwarfs a school bus. Larger than a T-Rex or megalodon, its tongue weighs as much as an elephant, its heart as much as a car, and it consumes 4 tons of krill daily per National Geographic. The orca, a toothed whale, reaches 23 to 32 feet, while the narwhal, known as the unicorn of the sea, grows 13 to 20 feet, including its 9-foot tusk, in Arctic waters. The lion's mane jellyfish, at 120 feet, features 8 sets of 70 to 150 tentacles, up to 1,200 total, in shades of red, purple, or orange. The giant oceanic manta ray, with a 30-foot wingspan, has the largest brain-to-body ratio among fish, lacking the venomous tail of stingrays. The Portuguese man-o'-war, Physalia physalis, a siphonophore, extends up to 165 feet with its tentacles per mental floss. Composed of genetically identical units, its sting can be fatal to animals and humans, with detached tentacles remaining dangerous for days, causing welts, cramps, and elevated heart rates, though encounters are rare. Ancient marine reptiles, rulers of prehistoric seas. The Shastasaurus, a late Triassic marine reptile from 210 million years ago, reached 69 feet and weighed 75 tons, rivaling a blue whale. If stood upright, it would match a 7-story building, yet its ribcage spanned only 6 feet, and it fed on small fish and cephalopods. The Albertonectes, a North American plesiosaur from 76 to 70 million years ago, grew to 38 feet, with a 23-foot neck containing a record 76 vertebrae. Its neck may have aided in foraging for shellfish or capturing fish, supported by gastroliths up to 5.5 inches wide. The Tylosaurus, a 45-foot mosasaur from 85 to 80 million years ago, dominated shallow North American seas with a hydrodynamic body, agile flippers, and a powerful head for ramming prey like fish, turtles, and other mosasaurs. The Ophthalmosaurus, a 16-foot, 6,000-pound Jurassic reptile, roamed global oceans with large eyes and dolphin-like features. The Mosasaurus, a 50-foot carnivore from 66 million years ago, was the era's top marine predator, its crocodile-like head armed with 2 rows of razor-sharp teeth and pterygoid teeth for gripping prey. The Styxosaurus, a 35-foot plesiosaur from 85 to 70 million years ago, had a 16-foot snake-like neck, using conical teeth to catch fish, with gastroliths aiding digestion or helping it sink to hunt. Diving the Mariana Trench, a descent to the deepest point. Embark on a journey to the Mariana Trench's Challenger Deep, the Pacific Ocean's lowest point. At 1 foot underwater, you swim without gear, spotting whales or tourists. At 10 feet, colorful fish and phytoplankton thrive in sunlight, near the depth of Venice's floating city foundations. At 30 feet, pressure doubles to 30 pounds per square inch, compressing air pockets in your body, causing discomfort but your organs adapt. At 40 feet, you need diving equipment, as the average person can hold their breath for only 30 to 90 seconds. The record is 24 minutes, 37 seconds. Tourists dive here to see reefs without special training. At 45 feet, sharks hunt, drawn to shiny objects like jewelry best avoided for safety. At 62 feet, the Aquarius Reef Base Lab in Florida operates, a research hub accessible via a hatch. At 105 feet, historical diving bells once allowed exploration of sunken ships, holding enough air for divers to breathe. At 140 feet, the sunken city in China's Qiandao Lake reveals streets and temples. At 330 feet, blue whales, the size of 2 train cars, dive to feed, their songs echoing. At 660 feet, sunlight fades, and high-pressure adapted creatures like anglerfish appear. At 702 feet, the deepest free dive record stands, with pressure 20 times surface levels. At 985 feet, submarines reach their maximum depth, traveling at 26 mph slower than an ostrich's run. At 1,090 feet, the deepest scuba dive record, set in the Red Sea, took 12 minutes to descend, but 15 hours to ascend to avoid decompression sickness. An atmospheric deep diving suit protects you here. At 1,554 feet, the Empire State Building's tip would sit if submerged. At 2,300 feet, pressure is 70 times surface levels, requiring an ultra-deep submersible. At 2,117 feet, the Burj Khalifa's tip would rest. At 5,387 feet, Lake Baikal's depth matches this, its area larger than Belgium. At 8,040 feet, the Perdido oil platform in the Gulf of Mexico operates, its above-water section nearly as tall as the Eiffel Tower. At 11,962 feet, the Atlantic Ocean's average depth hosts transatlantic telegraph cables. At 12,333 feet, the Titanic rests, accessible only by submarine due to crushing pressure. At 13,123 feet, the depth matches the Impala gold mine in Africa. At 20,000 feet, the USS Johnston's debris, sunk over 70 years ago, bears the number 557. At 26,200 feet, the Mariana snailfish, kitten-sized with transparent skin, survives in total darkness with poorly developed eyes. At 29,030 feet, Mount Everest's tip would sit if inverted into the trench. At 35,755 feet, bacteria in the Challenger Deep feed on organic molecules. At 36,070 feet, the trench's bottom pressure is 1,071 times surface levels. A 2012 expedition by an American filmmaker documented this depth, though equipment failures limited maneuvering. Microorganisms like xenophyophores, amphipods, and sea cucumbers survive here, feeding on scarce plankton and fish scales from upper layers, 124 miles from the nearest islands. Beyond, drilling 36 miles through the Earth's crust reaches the upper mantle, a 1,800-mile deep ocean of hot lava, then the outer core at 1,400 miles, and the inner core at 755 miles, arriving at Earth's center. Megalodon, the cartilage giant. The megalodon, the largest fish ever, had a bite strong enough to crush a car, consuming 2,500 pounds of food, daily equivalent to 3,300 cans of tuna. Its largest tooth found was remote control-sized, with fossils dating back 20 million years. Unlike bony skeletons, the megalodons was cartilage, a trait shared with rays, skates, and sawfish. Cartilage, softer and more flexible than bone, shapes the body and protects organs, with calcified areas like the head providing toughness and softer snout cartilage acting as a bumper. This flexibility allowed wider jaw movement, contributing to its unmatched bite force. Cartilage aided swift swimming and turning during hunts, but it complicates fossil records. Scientists estimate its size around 52 feet, using teeth and comparisons with modern sharks, aided by a 3D model based on an 1860s spine scan, revealing it was larger, faster, and hungrier than previously thought. Ancient sharks and deep-sea wonders. Megalodon, the giant of the past. The megalodon, slightly taller than the Hollywood sign and 10 times heavier than an elephant, was a prehistoric marvel. Scientists attribute its size variations to Bergmann's rule, which links body size to environmental temperature. Megalodons in cooler waters likely grew larger to conserve heat, while those in warmer regions stayed smaller to avoid overheating. Estimates suggest it cruised at over 3 mph, faster than many modern sharks. A great white shark can swim 7,000 miles non-stop, about 90% of Earth's diameter, but the megalodon may have traveled even farther. It thrived for 20 million years, outlasting humans by a factor of 70, with fossils found globally, from Denmark to New Zealand, though none in Antarctica due to its preference for warm tropical and subtropical waters. Juveniles stayed near shores, while adults roamed coastal and open oceans. Around 3.6 million years ago, global cooling and drying froze seas, shrinking their habitat. Prey like whales, seals, and turtles migrated to colder waters, and competitors like great whites and other whales increased, disrupting the food chain. Despite its fearsome reputation, the megalodon was a nurturing parent, with nursery sites discovered in Florida, Maryland, Panama, and Spain, where young were raised in shallow waters until ready to face predators. Its 276 teeth, arranged in 5 rows, functioned like a conveyor belt, regrowing thousands over its lifetime. Though often compared to the great white, it was more akin to a modern bull shark, with a short snout, flat lower jaw, and large pectoral fins. Could it still exist in the unexplored 95% of our oceans, perhaps in the Mariana Trench? Deep-sea sharks, a gallery of oddities. At 2 miles deep, the cookie-cutter shark, cat-sized with brown skin and glowing green eyes, lures prey with its bioluminescent neck. Its round mouth and sharp teeth take cookie-shaped bites from great whites, whales, and swordfish, even disabling submarines. The megamouth shark, car-length and rare, filters plankton with a glowing mouth to attract crustaceans, posing no threat to humans. The thresher shark uses its helicopter blade-like tail half its body length to stun fish schools or defend itself, and it avoids attacking humans. The angel shark, flat like a stingray with camouflaged skin, blends into the seafloor, snapping up small fish with powerful jaws, though divers should avoid accidental contact. The horn shark, with horn-like ridges above its eyes, swims slowly, feeding on sea urchins and crustaceans at night, using a strong bite to crush shells and sharp fin spikes for defense. The goblin shark, motorbike-sized with a long nose, catches squid by extending its jaw, attached to skin folds, and retracting it post-meal, often spotted off Japan and named for mythical goblins. The ninja lantern shark, arm-sized, glows blue to attract prey or communicate, its black skin rendering it nearly invisible in the dark. The hammerhead shark, weighing up to half a ton, has eyes on its hammer-shaped head for near 360-degree vision, hunting stingrays with specialized neck muscles. The Greenland shark, living 300 to 500 years in the North Atlantic and Arctic, withstands deep-sea pressure, using its nose to sniff out food at a slow pace. The bonnethead shark, related to the hammerhead but with a shovel-like head, eats algae for half its diet. The frilled shark, moving snake-like at ocean depths, gulps prey whole with 200 sharp teeth. The saw shark's spiky flat nose, lined with electric receptors, grows continuously, striking prey like a knight's weapon. The short-fin mako shark, the fastest at 35 mm, is warm-blooded, allowing it to roam cold waters, though the swordfish outpaces it at 60 mph, using oil from a gland to reduce water resistance. Cosmic impacts, rewriting Earth's history. Around 66 million years ago, the Chicxulub asteroid struck Mexico, leaving a massive crater and triggering dinosaur extinction through a 15-year impact winter, blocking sunlight with vaporized rock and gas. A second asteroid, discovered in 2022 by Dr. Nicholson off West Africa, formed the Nader crater, 5.5 miles wide under 1,000 feet of water. High-resolution 3D seismic images revealed a 1,500 to 2,640-foot wide asteroid's impact, creating a central peak, ridges, and a damage zone spanning thousands of miles. In 1908, the Tunguska event in Siberia saw a 150 to 300-foot object, possibly a comet or asteroid, explode 3 to 6 miles above ground, flattening 80 million trees over 830 square miles, with no crater due to its mid-air blast. In 2013, a 60-foot asteroid exploded 18 miles above Chelyabinsk, Russia, at 43,000 mph, shattering windows in 7,200 buildings via its shockwave, though no direct fatalities occurred. NASA tracks near-Earth objects like Bennu, which may impact Earth between 2178 and 2290, with a 1 in 2,700 chance on September 24, 2182. Red Sea death pools, a glimpse into origins. In 2020, researchers in the Gulf of Aqaba discovered brine pools in the Red Sea, pockets of water, up to 8 times saltier than the ocean, formed millions of years ago during the Miocene from dissolved mineral deposits. Spanning 170,000 square feet for the largest, and under 107 feet for smaller ones, these pools lack oxygen due to their high salinity, making them lethal to most marine life. Creatures that enter suffocate, leaving a graveyard of marine animals around them. Seawater's freezing point depression, where salt disrupts hydrogen bonds, pushes salt out during freezing, forming dense brine that sinks, aiding ocean currents. Despite their hostility, microbes thrive in thick mats, and salt-loving shrimp and eels lurk at the edges, preying on the unwary. These pools mirror early Earth conditions, offering clues to life's origins in oxygen-free environments, and may inform searches for life on water-rich planets like Mars. The Red Sea Decade Expedition, led by the National Center for Wildlife, yielded 77 research papers uncovering blue holes, dolphin nurseries, great white shark traces, deep-sea lanternfish, resilient corals, thermal vents, and microbial formations near Farasan Island, despite only 5% of the ocean being explored. Ocean layers and dark oxygen. The ocean's layers deepen into darkness. The epipelagic, sunlight zone down to 650 feet hosts dolphins and turtles. The mesopelagic, twilight zone to 3,000 feet harbors mysterious sharks. The bathopelagic, midnight zone, to 13,000 feet, features blobfish and anglerfish. The abyssopelagic zone to 20,000 feet sustains tube worms. And the Hadal zone, starting at 20,000 feet, includes the Mariana Trench reaching 36,000 feet. Only 3 people have explored these depths, where amphipods and Hadal snailfish survive. Surprisingly, high oxygen levels in deep zones come from polymetallic nodules, metal-rich rocks acting like batteries, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen via electrolysis, termed dark oxygen. This supports half of large marine species, suggesting life could exist on low-oxygen moons like Enceladus and Europa. Deep-sea gigantism, monsters of the abyss. Deep-sea gigantism produces massive creatures like sea spiders, squids, and worms. In the Pacific, a minivan-sized sea sponge and a colossal squid, 14 times longer than New Zealand's arrow squid, thrive in subantarctic waters. The 2021 giant phantom jelly, at 3,200 feet, boasts 33-foot tentacles, surviving on small fish and plankton down to 21,900 feet. The largest giant squid, at 43 feet and nearly a ton, could crush a car, feeding on marine snow organic debris from the surface in the lightless abyssal zone. Giant squids eat just 1 ounce daily, 45 calories, conserving energy by trapping prey with tentacles. Greenland sharks, at 7,200 feet, swim slowly at 1.12 feet per second, growing 0.4 inches yearly to 20 feet over 400 years, scavenging leftovers with a slow metabolism and natural antifreeze in their tissues. Kleiber's rule explains their size. Larger animals are more efficient, with greater metabolisms, better energy conservation, and the ability to tackle larger prey or survive harsh conditions. Cold, oxygen-rich waters, as in the Antarctic, allow sea spiders to grow to 3 feet, using diffused oxygen for growth. Giant tube worms, up to 8 feet, thrive near Pacific hydrothermal vents, relying on chemosynthesis bacteria inside them, convert toxic chemicals into energy, bypassing sunlight. Giant isopods, at 1,640 feet, resemble monstrous woodlice with hooked claws for stability, long sensory antennae, and large eyes, surviving on sparse food with a slow metabolism, enduring up to 5 years without eating. A 2006 study likened the deep sea to the island rule. Isolated regions foster biodiversity with limited resources but fewer predators, allowing small-bodied life to grow larger.